Yay, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And there are partnerships that are happening in this room. Just so you know, in the last 2 hours, I have like 2 or 3 people that I connected with from Silicon Valley where I live that were already talking about the next layer on how we can work together. So I'm just blown away at the experiences that can happen in this room. And last night I had a huge opportunity to spend time with a global leader that I know. And what I love about her is that we met on Clubhouse during the pandemic. And she would have these rooms and tens of thousands of people would come through these rooms. And she started getting to know them. And then all of a sudden she has events in person, and she has some of us come to Las Vegas and we meet in person. And this is during a pandemic. We're flying to Vegas and we're like the Clubhouse groups meeting because we're building these networks and we're like hungry to just know each other, right? Well, in the last year, I've been watching things that she's been doing, and she just finished a TED Talk in Barcelona about the metaverse. She's just talking to states and countries about how the metaverse is going to affect their community. One of the things she's doing is bringing the metaverse event to the Philippines. And so we were at dinner last night, and I asked her to come because I just wanted her to be in the room and speak and be part of this with all of us. And I thought, during my speech, I'd bring her up here and we could just talk to you in real time about how we put these global partnerships together. So would you guys like to welcome my friend, Kate, up here to the stage. Welcome, Kate. She might have a little bit of jet lag. She's been in like 5 countries in the last 2 weeks, and I've been watching her. But yeah, welcome. This is your first NFT conference here?
Yes, absolutely. And this is so last minute, so I love impromptu.
She had no idea. She's like, really? You want me to come on stage right now? But what I love is that you could do this. That's what global leaders do. They show up, they care, and they deliver value anytime because it's their natural state. So what I'd love to ask you about is, what was it like to talk about the metaverse in Barcelona?
Wow, I was speaking in front of successful entrepreneurs, and it was nerve-wracking because it's my peers, right? They asked you to dissect everything, so it wasn't easy. But what I love about the previous speaker, he mentioned that share the value, what it means to them. Don't make it so complicated. I think that's the easiest way to onboard successful people and everyone in the masses.
It's true.
Keep it simple.
Everywhere we go, people want to partner with us. I mean, one of the clues to this being hot is not only do people want to be part of it, they want to know how they can be a leader in it as well. They're seeing ways that they can come in. And right now what we're doing is we're employing and putting leaders in our communities to work just bringing NFTs out. And one of the things that you had is a woman who owns a castle over in Europe.
Yes. So, you know, how to build partnership is really building a relationship. And this is very important, especially in this community. You got to learn how to do it slowly. You can't be too aggressive, especially if they're in a high-level category. They own a massive palace in Saint-Tropez, and they want me to help their project to build an NFT. And so you have to really build it slowly, getting to know them at a personal level. And when it comes to partnership, you have to be okay with sometimes taking a hit because you're building that relationship. The first project might not work, but that long-term partnership is the key. So, and you have to be okay with losing money when it comes to partnership because
and learning lessons.
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes it's just really getting in there and having the learning lessons to apply it to the next one or the next partnership. But a lot of times you can interview other people that are right ahead of you and ask them what are their learning lessons, right? Somebody else who has done a big partnership or a launch, interview them, have them on your podcast, do a chapter in a book, write a blog, interview them about what did they learn that they wish they knew in the beginning, and that will save you a lot of time. And that's one of the things that we've learned along the way is when we collaborate with people is to learn from their learning lessons. And that's one of the things we did in Clubhouse a lot was have people share their stories, what worked, what didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. We were crazy enough to run an 85 days nonstop virtual summit on Clubhouse. So we were able to build a community of 111,000 and have over 8 million audience. And that really happens organically. We didn't really, everyone volunteered because everyone embraced the mission and there's a core value. And this is similar to NFT projects. So building a community is not easy. It really takes a lot of leadership from you and navigating everyone's personality because we're very diverse, right? How do you balance that when everyone's making happy, but at the same time makes sense for your project.
So it's
That
fun.
requires you as a leader.
It's interesting that Clubhouse was one of the places that we actually learned a lot about NFTs. Now, I've been in the space since 2015, but in the Clubhouse rooms, all of a sudden these artists were coming from France and Australia and all these different places, and I'm seeing all these collaborations happen organically, but also, like you said, leaders popped in, right? Kate became a leader in the community. Her husband, Dan, who's here, the two of them not only ran all of those days, but they went 24 hours a day, which meant they needed people like me and other people from around the world to take certain time slots and lead the community. You had to have trust in them too.
Yes, and again, as a leader, you really need to find the right people that really embrace that goal. And when you have that, they're willing to do whatever it takes to reach that goal. And that was the beauty of it. It's a beautiful community. And after 2 years, we're still seeing each other all over the world and swapping houses. And this is the real community. It's not just a one-time transaction. So the real scalable community is the one really help each other long term.
Well, what's so beautiful, I've been with you when people have stopped and said, hey, I know you from the Clubhouse room. And so people around the world, number one, have stopped you, but number two, have offered you items, offered you housing, offered you experiences, stages, and it just keeps going and going and giving and giving. And a big piece of it is you showed up giving first. You showed up, you made the audience, the space, you invited people in. You didn't ask for anything other than people to be in integrity and participate full out. But now you're getting all these rewards. And I'm sure years ago when you started it, you could not imagine the things that have happened even in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think when you're really genuine about your mission and goals, I think things happen. You might have to sacrifice a little bit in the very beginning. And this is similar to NFT project, but the payout might be in the next few years. And it's hard not to get frustrated because you put a lot of time and effort and sleepless night, but the payout is really good if you know how to build really strong community and project that really makes sense. You have to balance community economically because you can't sustain a project without making money, right? Because yes, it's good to help everyone, but in order for you to have VAs to support your time and effort, you have to make money. So having the balance is the key.
And I've seen you on some TV appearances. I mean, part of it is you have a secret weapon. Your husband is the best cheerleader on the planet. So no matter where you go, he's setting it up for success. And I will say that is one of the keys, is have someone that's with you that will pave the way, that will make introduction, that will take video, that will repurpose, that will post on your Instagram, that will post and let people know what you're doing. So she could just be the talent and he could be the one that's helping tell the story. So that is one of the keys to success, is really have someone who has your back, you can trust them 100%, and they're gonna show up. And you have that.
Well, absolutely. And we all need that. Whether it's solo or a big project, you really need to have those people that are very good at what they do, right? You need to have the right team with you.
So one of my coaches is Dan Sullivan. He runs a thing called Strategic Coach. And he teaches that in business, there's two geniuses that come together. There's the simplifier and the multiplier. Now the simplifier, their genius is, how do you take a complex concept and drill it down to bite-sized pieces? Now, simplifiers tend to hang out with other simplifiers because they think they're the smartest ones in the room. And in a lot of ways, they are. However, they then, at the perfect timing, need a multiplier to tell the world about them. They generally do not do both very well. So in this case, Kate can take things to bite-sized pieces. She can create all of these really amazing relationships, and she has someone behind her as a multiplier sharing that so she can be the talent. And that is genius. So if you're a simplifier and that's your genius and you hang out with other simplifiers, what you want to do is put a PR person or a marketing person in with you to then be the multiplier out in the world. If you're a multiplier, you want to find something that you're so engaged with and love so much you want to multiply it in the world, then you find the simplifier that you can go ahead and take their story and multiply it. So that's a really simple way of bringing it to a close right here. But what I wanted to do is show you that there's a science to everything. In relationships, the science is being interested. The science is being interested, listening, caring, looking for the ways that things intersect. But the most important piece is the follow-up after. I mean, part of the reason we have a long-standing relationship is because we show up for each other. When we say we're going to do something, we do it. And whether she's in Istanbul or she's over in the Philippines, we still keep in contact through social media. I'm a cheerleader for her, she's a cheerleader for me, and we get to rise together. So I want that for all of you. Thank you so much, Kate, for sharing and making this last-minute attempt, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Okay, we are actually going on a lunch break now, right? And then we have a panel that's coming up. We are going to have an exercise during lunch. You're welcome to stay. It's going to be interactive. And thank you guys for everyone who stayed here this morning. I am so grateful that you wanted to learn about this topic, and I actually learned a lot with you. Thank you so much.